Hello. In this video, we look at Bhagavad Gita Chapter 2, verse 18. Antavanta ime deha nityasyuktaha sharirinaha anashino prameyasya tasma yudhasva bharata. Now with the text up. Antavanta ime deha nityasyuktaha sharirinaha anashino prameyasya tasma yudhasva bharata. Ime deha. In the last video, I'll just turn up the text actually, we had avyayasya, we had asya of this. Again, look at Macdonnell, paragraph 111, that's on page 76. In Macdonnell, you'll see for the plural under that same pronoun, the ayam, idam, iyam, masculine, neuter, feminine, the masculine form, masculine nominative plural, is ime, and that's the ime that was Roman. That's the ime that we see here. So ime deha means these bodies. So antavanta. So anta, meaning an end, in fact, cognate with our English word end. And this is the suffix vant, making an adjective meaning possessed of something or having something. So antavant means having an end. Therefore perishable. There's some things that come to an end. We've got an expiry date. So antavantaha, without the sandhi, this is the nominative plural, masculine nominative plural, antavantaha. And by regular sandhi, it ends in an aha, followed by a word beginning with an I, or followed by a word beginning with any vowel apart from another short ah. The aha, what happens there is that the visarga drops and then nothing else is done. Antavanta ime. So having an end, perishable, and the verb to be is left out here, that's normal. Perishable are these bodies. So that's the plural of deha. So ime deha. Now, ime deha uktaha. Not mean ime deha uktaha antavantaha. These bodies, ukta said, meaning are said to be. Antavanta, having an end. So ime deha, these bodies, uktaha, are said, insert to be, antavanta, perishable, having an end. So these bodies, the word order is kind of jumbled up a bit, but that's fine in Sanskrit because the word endings make it perfectly clear what belongs with which. So we get uktaha, uktaha, masculine nominative plural, agreeing with deha, masculine nominative plural. So these bodies are said to be what? antavanta, masculine nominative plural, are said to be having an end. These bodies of what? Of the sharirina. This is now genitive singular. Have I written that correct? Yes. These bodies of the, what we can loosely call soul. So there are various words for body. The three most common ones are deha, which we have here, and deha is from a root meaning to fashion or shape something, to mold something. It comes into Latin. I've done a note on it. Yes, I've done a note on it in the explanatory glossary. It's the same deha that actually sometimes the d or the turns up as a f in Latin. So de turns up as a fig in Latin, as in a figure, and also it turns up oddly enough via French into the English word fashioning, some fashioning in the sense of shaping or making or moulding. And a figure, a figurine, a figment of your imagination, something that is fashioned or created by the imagination. It's the deha. Incidentally, cognate rather with our English word dough, as in D-O-U-G-H, because the flour mixed with water becomes then something you can make into a shape. And so that's the same. So it's like as if the imagery here is our body, something made into something that has a physical shape. So deha is body, but under its aspect of pure physicality. Another word for body is sharira, and that comes from a root meaning to support. Shri. And the sharira, so there the body, it also means a body, but it's looked at under a different aspect. It's the body, not in its aspect of pure physicality as a physical thing, which is deha, but this is the body in its aspect of a support for what we can loosely call a soul. So the sharira is body as support for the soul, and a sharirin is an entity that is having this support. So a sharirin is something that's inhabiting a sharira. So this ending in means either doing something or connected with it or inhabiting it. For example, a yogin is somebody who does yoga. A sharirin is the entity that inhabits a sharira. So the sharirin then means, let's say, for these purposes, soul. And this is it's a standard in noun, and so the genitive singular is inaha sharirinaha, of the sharirin. And the third common word for body, by the way, is kaya, and that's from the root chi, meaning to accumulate or heap up, and that is the body under its aspect of an accumulation of things. So the deha looks like one solid lump. The sharira, body under its aspect of the support or the place that is inhabited by, this entity, let's call it the soul. And the kaya is looked at an accumulation in the sense of something that is composed of numerous parts all functioning together. And that's the word that's most commonly, I'm not quite sure if invariably, but certainly most commonly used, for example, in Pali, in the Pali scriptures about mindfulness and mindfulness of body. You get Kaya Gata Sati, which would be Kaya Gata Smriti in Sanskrit. Body gone mindfulness is mindfulness with regard to the body. So we here we have two of these words for body. So these bodies of the sharirin, of the soul, ukta are said, insert to be antavantaha in its full form, are said to be imperishable. These bodies of the soul. Now we have a series here of adjectives, all in the genitive singular, masculine genitive singular, all qualifying soul, sharirina. And those four adjectives are nitya, anashin, aprameya. So did I say four? Three adjectives. Nitya, anashin, and aprameya. So these deha, these bodies of the permanent, indestructible, and immeasurable sharirin, of the immeasurable soul. I'm using this word in a non-doctrinal way. It's that which inhabits the body. So in English, we'd say, ime deha. I'll say this without sandhi. So, ime deha nityasya anashinaha aprameyasya sharirina. These bodies of the permanent, indestructible, immeasurable sharirin, uktaha antavantaha, are said to be, reported to be, perishable, having an end. Tasmad yudhyasva bharata. Tasmat is an ablative form of tat, so literally from that, but it's very frequently used as here as a conjunction from that, meaning therefore. In fact, our English word therefore actually means from that, out of that. So therefore, O Bharata, yudhyasva, fight. Yudhyasva, in fact, I note on it. Yeah, yud. It's a class 4 verb, class 4 atmanepada. So it makes its present stem by adding a ya to the root. So not yodhati, but yudhyate, and it's atmanepada, so yudhyate, not yudhyati. Yudhyate, he fights. Now, for the imperative, for the parasmaipada of the first conjugation, which includes class 4, if this were a parasmaipada verb, it would be just yudhya, fight. But it's atmanepada, so it has this form yudhyaswa. So this aswa ending is simply the atmanepada, second person singular imperative ending. And you'll find that if you look in Macdonnell on page, let's look at page 92. It's on page 93, but we turn the book sideways for this one. Pages 92 and 93 give you the conjugation of the class 1, the standard paradigm verb for class 1, bhu bhavati. If you look at the section beginning imperative, look down to imperative 2, and that's where you see bhava for the parasmaipada. Look across to the atmanepada, and that's where you'll see bhavasva. And that's what we see here, yudhyasva, fight. Tasmad yudhyasva bharata, therefore, O Bharata, fight. So I'll read this through once more. Antavanta ime deha nityasyuktaha sharirinaha anashino prameyasya tasmad yudhyasva bharata. And again, Antavanta ime deha nityasyuktaha sharirinaha anashino prameyasya tasmad yudhasva bharata. That's all on this video.